What's up everyone? In this video we are going to be doing a little bit of everything, and that is going to range from a little bit of concrete work to plumbing to wiring to framing. This one's got it all, so stay tuned and see what happens. All right, so what I was just doing was caulking the little cracks that happen throughout the concrete, and this is pretty common. The wall is not imploding on itself or anything. I'm just making sure that when I put this wall back up, that there's zero chance of water ever seeping through the concrete blocks. But a lot of fixing this issue that is water is going to be on the outside of the house. And when you do that, you have to make sure that the grade of the grass is going away from the house rather than towards it, so that the water flows away, because you don't want water flowing into your house, and that's how you actually get problems. So what I did here was I just took some concrete sealant and just went through where all the cracks are, just to have them all sealed up, just so I have peace of mind after I put these walls up, that I won't ever have any sort of moisture or anything behind them. And with moisture comes mold, so you really don't want it back there. So what I'm gonna end up doing is starting framing next, I think. So I spent the whole morning looking in here, and I need to replace these water lines because they're hanging too low. They're hanging like right in line with where my wall is gonna be, right here. So I can't actually build it up until I get the supplies to replace all those water lines. So I'm just gonna hold off on doing that room until I can run to Home Depot, but I just realized that I need to run there anyways because I don't have the right drill bits for the screws to frame the walls in here. It's one of those days where it feels like nothing's going right, but you'll get over it after a while. So I'm gonna run to Home Depot really quick and grab that stuff. All right, so what you just saw me do was measure out this first part of the wall that I'm gonna be building. Now the reason these are two different colors is because one is pressure treated, and that is gonna go on the floor, and the other one is just regular pine, and that's gonna go up against the ceiling. So you don't ever have to worry about that getting wet. But right now I'm going to show you how I measured everything. So since we're starting with this wall there, there's gonna be another one going straight up to it. And if you take that 2x4 in that corner, you're not going to be able to screw any drywall in it because the width of these boards is 3.5 inches. So I measured 3.5 inches off of this end from here to here, and then I added another 3/4 of an inch, and that gave me center for my first board, which is going to allow me to have something to screw to. And then from there I measured 16 on center all the way down. And then on this end over here, since I need to add to this wall, I left an arrow there saying that that's gonna be left open. And then when I go to cut this last piece to go from here to here, it's gonna stay open. And then the first stud is going to be 16 inches away from that. So that way I can continue my 16 inches on center all the way down, and then we will have a wall. So what I'm gonna do now is measure the height and then cut all of the boards that I need to that are gonna be going vertically. Then I'm gonna build the wall on the floor and then lift it up and then hammer it into place. Now, one thing I didn't mention is that I'm going to be covering the back of this wall with plastic, so that way no water is ever going to even possibly go anywhere near where the insulation is going to go onto the other side. So all I did was spread it out over the wall that I made, and just used a staple gun to staple it all the way around. And then I had the bottom piece wrap underneath a little bit just so that the pressure treated wasn't even touching the concrete. And then once that wall was stood up, I just grabbed my level and then used the sledgehammer to knock it into place so that everything was plumb and level. And once it was all good, I took a screw gun and screwed a few screws into the top plate, and then took a ram set and used the nail gun to drive some nails into the floor so that that wall is secure and it will never move again. So I'm just gonna replicate that and just keep going at it. So the next day came and I decided that I didn't want to keep framing and then just be held up by all the plumbing. So me and my girlfriend got to work on pulling all the plumbing out and getting all the new stuff set up. So what I'm doing is everything's going to be brand new, all the way to the hot water tank, all the way to the kitchen, bathrooms. Everything is going to be all converted to PEX, and that is what we are working on right now. I just finished the hot water tank and I'm building the manifolds for branching off into different areas, such as the living space upstairs and the living space downstairs. After a late night of running water lines to make the house livable again, me and my brother got to working on the framing the next day, and Carly ended up helping out as well. So here we are just working on getting everything completely framed in. Now, since the bathroom's so narrow, we weren't able to build the walls on the ground and then lift them up, so we had to build them piece by piece. And what we did was we installed the top plate and the bottom plate, and then we wedged two of the boards in between and then just started setting the walls from there. And by then we were able to start working on the plumbing and the wiring, along with any minor details that are necessary to where the cabinets are going to land, along with where the floating shelves are going to land. And I'll explain that in a little bit here, but for now we just worked on plumbing and wiring. After I finished running the majority of those wires, we hopped back upstairs because we are going to be moving the laundry upstairs to the bathroom. And I used the master bedroom's closet in order to do that, so we had to put another closet into that bedroom to keep it a bedroom. So here's us just working on that, and then we moved over into the kitchen to finish framing in there for the pantry and building the island. So as you can see, this kitchen is starting to come together and we are just about ready for drywall, and it's starting to feel like an actual kitchen, which is really cool to see. So make sure you stay tuned for the next video where we are going to be working on drywall, mudding, and a lot of other stuff. So if you like this video, make sure you like the video and click the subscribe button to see when I post new videos, and I will catch you in the next one.